Okay, so now I'm starting with the concepts of DML statements. Okay, so first of all, let's start with the full form. The DML stands for Data Manipulation Language. Okay, and we have 6 to 7 DML statements, but there's one DML insert statement that we already have used, and like how to what is the use of this particular DML statement insert, what is the use of insert statement, and we already have make a use of this. That's the reason I'm sure that you must aware of the insert statement. But then apart from insert, we also have delete, we have update, and we have something called as upsert. Now, what is an upsert? Upsert means, update and insert. I'm going to tell this, don't worry. Then we have undelete, we have merge. But there are only few objects which supports merge statement. Lead is one of them. The second one is campaign and contact also. So there are only few standard objects on which you could use the merge statements. I'm going to give you that list also, don't worry, because this is probably one of the interview question also. Okay, on which objects you could use merge as a DML statements. You could merge the records. So there are only few standard objects. I'm going to provide you that list also, okay, when we will be coming to that topic. Now see, DML, basically DML and data manipulation. With the help of DML statement, what we can do, we could directly interact with the database. In case of Salesforce, we know the name of database is not just database, it's database.com. In case of Salesforce, the Salesforce data is something we used to refer it as what? Database.com. Now, whenever you wanted to perform any such kind of operation like inserting a new record into the database, or rather you wanted to make an editing, you wanted to customize and make few changes in the existing record, you know, then also there is a DML statement update. For insertion of new record, there is a DML statement insert. For making the changes in the existing record, there is an update statement. Now, when we wanted to delete and we wanted to remove certain entity, when we wanted to delete certain record from the database, there's a DML statement delete. Upsert something means, upsert something means update and insert. It's a combination of two DML operations. Upsert means update plus insert. Now, what does this means? Now, see, for example, try to understand this. We have an object, student object. Okay, and then I am actually inserting 10 new records. I'm actually inserting 10 new records inside this. I'm inserting 10 new records or probably 5 new records inside the student object. Let's consider there is an object student. There's already an object student, and now I wanted that all these new records will be get inserted, okay, inside the object. There's an object called as student. Try to understand what is an upsert operation is all about. Try to understand that. Now see, for example, my first student is Akshay. Okay, Akshay Patil. The second one is Prajwal. Okay. The third one is Sandesh, and then Harsh. Okay. And then we have Divya, and then probably we have Kiran. Okay. Now let's say that Akshay record was already there, and the second entity is over here is probably, for example, uh, the second entity could over here is something the age. So let's consider that Akshay is 25, Prajwal is 22, and then Shubham is somewhere 19, Harsh is 17, and who's this P? I don't know, but the age is 21, and then Kiran is probably 19, something like this. Okay. So I there is already a database, and now I wanted to insert these records 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 records. अक्षय पाटिल रिकॉर्ड वाज ऑलरेडी देयर इनटू द स्टूडेंट. ठीक है, उसका रिकॉर्ड पहले से था. अक्षय पाटिल का एक रिकॉर्ड, देयर इज ऑलरेडी अ रिकॉर्ड नेम अक्षय पाटिल एंड द एज वाज मेंशन देयर वाज 21. ठीक है. Then there is also one of the record, like Shubham ka record bhi was already there into the database, and the age was like 33. This was already there. Now, what will happen when you, instead of using update insert, if you use an upsert statement, what will happen? I'll tell you. Upsert statement. Whenever an upsert DML statement upsert is executed, so it will actually look for the existing records. It will actually look for the existing record. Now, if the record already exists, for example, we are inserting these 6 new records, but out of these 6, Akshay Patil record and Shubham record is already there. Rest of the entities are new. There is no such record called as Prajwal. There is no such record into database, student database with the name Harsh, and then somebody like P and K for Kiran, like this. So these are new. These are something which is new. But these 2 records were already into the system. These 2 records were already into the student object. So whenever we use an upsert statement, what upsert statement will do is, like, it will first check when it's try to insert AP Akshay Patil, it will first of all check whether the student object have any record with the name called as Akshay Patil. So there we find, yes, there is already a record Akshay Patil with the age 21. Here what we are entering, Akshay Patil age is 25. So this record of the previous record will be get updated. This previous record will be get updated and with the new value. That means Akshay Patil record will not going to be inserted. I will be saying कि upsert मतलब क्या होता है? Either update, either insert. For the first record, Akshay Patil, what kind of operation is going to be performed? For the first record, it will perform an update operation. Why? Because there is already a record with the name called as Akshay Patil. So this record, these are the new values, Akshay Patil with 25. So that old record Akshay Patil will now be updated with the new one, and now the value of Akshay Patil will be Akshay Patil with the age 25. It will look for Prajwal. It will look for Prajwal. Does the student object have any? Does the student object have any? हम्म, यार यही प्रॉब्लम होता है इसके साथ में. तो इट विल गो फॉर जब वो अक्षय का रिकॉर्ड उसने देखा तो उसको पता चला कि अक्षय का रिकॉर्ड तो ऑलरेडी है ना. अक्षय का रिकॉर्ड ऑलरेडी है. बस ये था कि उसकी एज 21 थी, तो अब उसको एज कर दिया 25. ठीक है, 25, बिकॉज 25 इज व्हाट द न्यू एंटिटी दैट कम अप, राइट. उसके बाद में आया प्रज्वल विद द एज 21. अब इट विल सी इनटू द स्टूडेंट डेटाबेस, एग्जिस्टिंग डेटाबेस में चेक करेगा वेदर डू वी हैव एनी रिकॉर्ड विद द नेम एज प्रज्वल. तो पूरा डेटा स्कैन करने के बाद पता चला कि नो, देयर इज नो सच रिकॉर्ड, है ना. इनटू दिस टेबल स्टूडेंट ऑब्जेक्ट, इनटू दिस टेबल स्टूडेंट, या स्टूडेंट टेबल बोलो या स्टूडेंट ऑब्जेक्ट बोलो, इट्स वन एंड सेम थिंग. So there is no such record with the name called as Prajwal. So this time it will perform insert operation. Insert operation Prajwal with the age what 21. ठीक है. It will look for the next record Sandesh with the age 31, है ना. So it will see कि whether this object already have संदेश. तो पता चला yes there is an record संदेश है already, लेकिन उसका जो एज था वो 15 लिखा हुआ था. Now that record of संदेश will be get updated. तो यहां पर अब कौन सा ऑपरेशन होगा? अपडेट ऑपरेशन. संदेश विद द एज 31, ऐसा इस तरह से. तो अपसर्ट बेसिकली क्या होता है? इफ द रिकॉर्ड इज ऑलरेडी देन परफॉर्म अपडेट ऑपरेशन. If the record is already there into database, if the record is already there into table, if there is a record already into that particular object, then perform update operation. If the record is not there, then perform insert operation. So that is what upsert is. Then if you delete and you wanted to restore, जो हम recycle bin से restore करते हैं ना, that operation is undelete operation. Merge, I will tell you कि merge exactly होता क्या है. Merge कितने objects support करता है, और दो डेटा जब merge होता है तो how does इट लुक्स लाइक टू बी. मर्ज का मतलब होता है दो ऑब्जेक्ट, दो रिकॉर्ड्स को मर्ज करना. देन इट इज नॉट सपोर्टेड विद, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल इट इज नॉट सपोर्टेड विद एवरी ऑब्जेक्ट, है ना. कॉन्टैक्ट लीड, दीज आर द टू ऑब्जेक्ट. मोस्टली कैंपेन का मैं देख के बताता हूँ कि वहां जहां पर हम डेटा को मर्ज कर सकते हैं. एंड हाउ डज इट लुक्स लाइक आफ्टर मर्जिंग. ठीक है, दैट इज वी आर गोइंग टू सी ऑल्सो. तो ये सारी चीजें हम कवर करने वाले हैं अभी डीएमएल स्टेटमेंट में. ये सारी चीजें हम कवर करने वाले हैं. देन वन कॉमन क्वेश्चन दे आस्क यू अबाउट डीएमएल. How many DML statements are there? This is the first thing. How many DML statements are there? This is the first thing. And the second thing over here is, what does it means by database.class method? Database class methods. So DML is insert, delete, update. These are DML. By the way, these are not DMLs. These are methods of a class called as database class. Database also, there is a class, there is a system class, there is a defined class. There is an automatic class. There is what I could scale. There is a standard class with the name as database. This database class also have few of the methods like insert, update. But these are methods. Every method, every function is enclosed with what? With starting and closing bracket and square or round brackets, whatever. So this database class also have few of the methods called as insert, update, delete, undelete, upsert, merge, and empty recycle bin. So this is something different. This is something different. These are methods, these are statements. So I don't get confused, because this is not the point. We should discuss, both of the things. We will be starting with DML statement. First of all, try to understand DML only. Let's, if I'm just introducing what I want, I mean, what we are going to learn with this topic. But you don't require to be get confused with this thing. Don't worry about this. This is just a small concept, a very small concept, and what they ask in the interview and what is the answer, everything I'm going to tell you. So please don't worry about this. Okay. First of all, keep your focus only onto the DML statements. So we are going to start with DML. Then after completing DML, I am going to tell you what are the drawbacks with these DML statements. Okay. What are the drawbacks with the DML statement? DMLs are called to be the atomic in nature. What does this means by? What is the atomic nature? So why we actually, instead of giving DML insert, we usually prefer database dot insert. If I wanted to perform an update operation, instead of giving update DML statement, I usually in the real time I prefer database dot update. What is the reason? What is the reason why we usually don't use it and we prefer database class methods? We will going to understand everything. Okay, we will going to understand everything. So please don't worry. We will take it step by step. So let's start with the DML statement. Now there are few of the governor limits, and I can assume that you guys know this, because there are so many times we have seen this thing in the developer console, that in a single program we could maximum fire 150 DML statements, not more than that. Now using one DML statement, how much data we could fetch? We could maximum fetch 10,000 records at a time. How many SOQL queries we could fire? 100. How much data we could fetch from a single SQL query? 50,000. 50,000. Okay. So these are few of the governor limits, guys. You must know this. Okay. You must know this. You must remember these are the few of the governor limits. चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं. Now there are few of the best practices. What is this? We will see this in the real time program. Okay, we should always not keep rather, let me make the sentence in proper way. We should not use DML statement inside any of the loop, because we usually use a for loop. That's why I have taken the name of for. But otherwise, as a best practice, we should never use any of the DML statement, any of the DML statement, like insert, delete, update, upsert, and delete, merge. We should not use any of the DML statement within a loop, because in that case, there's a close proximity that it's going to hit the DML. It's going to hit the governor limit. If you keep a DML statement within a loop, it is very much possible, it have a very close proximity that it could hit your governor limits. Okay? That's the reason we don't insert, we don't keep the DML statement in the loops. Rather, we keep it outside the loop. So what is that we are going to see with the program? And we should always perform the bulkification. So bulkification is usually done with the help of collections. Okay? Bulkification is always done with the help of collection. So see, the first program, I'm going to prepare a program for the insert statement. In the first program itself, I'm going to follow these two best practices, and I'll be telling you, see, this is the right way of writing a program, because this program follows both of the best practices, okay? So let's see the program. So let's make a program for the insert statement. Okay, let's make a program for the insert statement. Write an Apex program to insert 200 records in the hiring manager. 200 records in the hiring manager. I think we already have done this program. Anyways, okay. So 200 different records into the hiring manager I wanted to be inserted. We already have done this, but let me revise it. So now we have 464 records. After inserting 200, the count should become 664. Okay, so let's verify. So I will be writing a program. So this time I make नई class बना लेता हूँ, because for SQL I have make a class, database helper. For the DML, let me create another class. एक दूसरी class बना लेता हूँ. So I'm going to the developer console and I'm creating a new class. I'll be creating a new class, new Apex class with the name DML utility. ठीक है, DML utility. With this name, I'm creating a class. Now let me create a methods inside this. Now you know this, every method, whenever we define a method, we have few thumb rules with us. We always follow the same rule every time. The first thing is, every method you make it a public method, make it a static method, and let it be void unless and until I don't tell you. Just make it void. Make every method has to be a procedure. Don't make it a function till now. Okay, Chetan, you wanted to ask something? Let me disable the annotations. Okay, so void, I'm giving one name like bulk. Insert bulk. What you wanted to be insert? I wanted to insert in bulk, but what? HR what? Records. Okay, that you could give any name. I always recommend you to give significant names, a more meaningful names. You know, that is what I always recommend you to do. Okay, so I created a class with the name DML utility. Inside this class, I created a method. Why I created this method? Let me copy my use case over here. Let me copy my use case over here. See, it's always good. It's always good to give comments. It's always good to give comments for everything, whatever you develop. Because see, don't develop it for you. Whenever you do any development, whenever you write a class, you write a method. Okay? Describe it. Describe why at all you are creating this method. What is the reason? What is the purpose? What we are going to achieve with this method? What is the kind of requirement that is being fulfilled with this method? So always try to write down comments. Okay, that make a program more readable. That makes a program more readable. Okay, and these are some things, these are something we account this. We make a count of this. We account this for the code. What you say? Code quality. These are few of the things. If MC, if I am a silent observer, if I am your team lead, apart from giving you the job, apart from giving you the task, one of my responsibility is to monitor you, because at the end of the year you are going to apply for appraisals. Everyone in the IT, this is a culture. You need to uh, you need to apply, you need to fill a form called as self appraisal form, where you describe what is the kind of work that you have done in the past 1 year, and what were your achievements, whatever just you need to describe. And you wanted to make an application, then please hike my salary with some of the, appropriate, whatever is a policy of the organization, please make a hike of that. I will be closely observing you from the past 1 year. Okay, then after once you have filled up your form, that forms comes to me, and my opinions are also asked. There are few of the things where one column is code quality, how exactly you are being practiced to write down the codes. So these are some of the things that are going to be get observed that time. Okay, if you write down something, how you actually write it down. If you write a code, what is your way of coding? If you write a script, what is the way how you write a script? So try to make your program as much readable as possible, and this could be done with the help of comments. So please don't ignore this. Don't consider this as to be a useless entity. No, this is something. Inserting comments and describing what you are generating, this could make a 5% of appraisals in your existing salary. So understand what is the importance of writing a good code. What is the importance of maintaining a quality code? And fortunately we are practicing in the same way. The way see, मैं यहाँ पे तारीफ की बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ. I am making you guys to be alert, get alerted. How you are writing the code, we are following the best practices. Try to understand this. Somewhere around back of the mind, probably you guys will think, I'm trying to increase the complexity. No, no. If I do that, you will probably won't understand the code. And this is my failure. This becomes my failure. It will going to hurt this batch, coming batches, and every batches. No, it's not like that. I'm actually trying to make an improvement. I'm gradually trying to make the improvement in your coding style. That's the reason in the last program, we have written SQL query inside for loop. So that you should learn that whenever we fire SQL query, it is not mandatory that we should always define a list collection. We fire the query, collect the result inside the collection, and then design a for loop based on that collection. No. There's also another way you could minimize the code. You can simply insert the entire query inside the for loop. You now have learned that technique also. You also have learned one of the technique where I have showed you that we could even collect the result inside a map collection. That is also we have seen. And then with the last program, we even have understood that if we wanted to fetch the data from multiple objects and if they are related, then what is the purpose of writing this separately? We could make a use of relationship queries. Okay, so try to understand, every one of you. I'm taking you gradually deeper and deeper and deeper inside the Apex. And if you yourself imagine, okay, how was your day, or rather the first week of this programming, and now try to examine yourself कि मैं आज उस वक्त कहाँ था, what was my overall opinion about Apex programming, how much I was finding this easy and difficult in that first to 2 weeks, and now how much comfortable, how much conceptual I am ready with this. So try to evaluate yourself. So, guys, we are doing the programming in a very standard way, and please maintain everything, even habit of writing comments. Please maintain everything. Okay, चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. So let's write down a program, and with this program, what I wanted to insert? I wanted to insert 200 records in which object? Hiring manager. Okay. So if I wanted to insert a hiring manager, I should obviously create an object of the hiring manager. But see what I'm going to do. Okay. First of all, let me write down the conventional code, and then I'll make the whatever the advancement it actually requires. Okay. So I'll be preparing one object of the hiring manager class. So for that, I will require the name, exact API name of this object. So here I will be copying the exact API name because I wanted to create an object, an instance of this class. Every object is a class. So hiring manager is also a class. So I'm creating an instance, HR manager underscore underscore equals to HR. You could give any name over here. Try to give the significant name equals to new what? Once again, with this default constructor. Now you know this definition. Every one of you know what this is going to create. With the new keyword and a default constructor, it's going to allot the memory. And now from this onward into the program, this HR record will be going to be used as an instance, as an object of hiring manager class. See how usually we create records. How usually we do this? First of all, we create an object. That's what I already have did. Right? Now with the help of this object, I'm copying it. With the help of this object, I'll be creating records inside the hiring manager. So like, HR record number dot hiring manager record. So it's going to give me the list of all the fields, like HR manager name equals to something, a contact number. Now the fields are visible to me. So I actually don't require to copy this. यहाँ मुझे जाके यहाँ से ऐसा एक फील्ड उठाने की जरूरत नहीं है ऐसा. Why? Because this is a kind of intelligence what you get into the Apex programming. You created the object. Now this object represents this class, and whatever the fields, what are the members, they are being listed out over here. Okay. Now see, because I wanted to insert how many records? 200 records. So I will slightly make this program to be look different. What I'm going to do? I will create, or let me go with this straightforward way. Not for loop. First of all, I will create a collection. Okay. First of all, I will create a collection. Let me tell you this. चलो इसको भी हटाओ, पहले मैं आपको directly बताता हूँ. If I wanted to insert 200 records in any of the object, not just with the hiring manager, if I wanted to insert 200 records, what will be my approach? First of all, I require a loop. I require a loop that should stand for 200 times. I require a loop that should work, that should be, evaluated, that should be called 200 times. And that's the reason I am defining this loop. Integer, what? Counter. Integer counter equals to, for example, 1. Counter should be less than or equals to 200. It should start with 1 and it should be get ended on 200. And every time after performing some operation, I wanted the value to be get incremented by 1. Okay, this is my loop. Inside the loop, now let me define the objects. Inside the loop, now let me define the object of the class. The same definition, I'm copying this API name and I'll be writing this uh, HR records equals to new. Once again, the same with the default constructor. Now this becomes what? This becomes a object. Okay, this becomes an object. So see here, there are two possibilities. Let me show you that. You created the object. Let me copy this object name, HR records. Let me copy this object name. So I'll paste it over here. HR records dot. Okay. Let's start with name. Let's start with name. Name equals to, because name is a string, you need to enclose it within the single inverted commas. Okay. Now I wanted to give the name. Okay, but let me go to the object. Hiring manager में अभी किस तरह के रिकॉर्ड्स हैं पहले मैं देख लेता हूँ. I could see like bulk है, bulk HR records is already there, है ना. तो टेस्ट है क्या? टेस्ट भी ऑलरेडी है. DML record नहीं है. ठीक है, चलो. So here I will be giving the name like DML HR record dash काउंट की वैल्यू, काउंटर की वैल्यू. तो जैसे पहला रिकॉर्ड इंसर्ट होना चाहिए DML HR record 1, दूसरा DML HR record 2, 3, 4. Like this, the record should be get inserted. So I'm making the use of concatenation operator. With this, I wanted to insert plus. Plus what? Here, please insert the value of counter. Here, please insert the value of counter. So because counter is starting with 1, तो जो सबसे पहली वैल्यू जो काउंटर अपने साथ लेके आएगा दैट विल बी 1. तो आपका जो पहला रिकॉर्ड इंसर्ट होगा उसका नाम रहेगा DML HR record dash 1. फिर 2, 3, like this. It will going to grow. Okay, it will going to grow like this. Okay, this was like now HR records dot. The second entity over here is like say the contact number. Let me give the value to the contact number. So here I'll give, because again it's a string, एक ही नंबर दे सकता हूँ मैं यहाँ पे अभी, है ना. For every entity, let me give this to be 998800 998800. ठीक है, like this. ठीक है, 88. So I'm giving this 4, 6, 8, 10. Yes. So for every 200 record, this is going to be the contact numbers value. Now HR records dot. So we have email ID also. Okay, we have email ID. So let me give the value to the email ID. Email ID is also a string, so it must be enclosed within the single inverted comma. So here I'm giving the email ID as DML HR. Okay, DML HR, and then plus the value of counter to DML HR 1. Okay, try to visualize what I'm writing. Try to visualize. Now you are on to that stage that when I am writing the code, you could you could visualize, okay, what should be the output, how does this statement going to be look like in the output. So DML HR plus counter मतलब DML HR 1. ठीक है, 1 plus I'm putting one concatenation operator once again. इसके बाद में फिर मुझे स्ट्रिंग लिखना है, तो मैंने फिर से सिंगल इन्वर्टेड कॉमा लिया. ठीक है, स्ट्रिंग लिखना है मुझे @gmail@test.com. ठीक है, so it's going to look like this. DMLHR1 @test.com, DMLHR2 for the second time when the second record is being generated, DMLHR2, and this way. So this is the way the record is going to be get stored. ठीक है, do we have any more fields? HR records dot. I think HR email ID, this one is auto generated string value. ID is automatically going to be get generated. I think we have something called as location. Yes, location. Now location is because it's a pick list. I need to strictly use only those values that are there into the pick list. Okay. So I'll be using like Pune, Nagpur are the values over there. And do we have any else other thing? और कुछ है क्या यहाँ पे? Contact number I have taken, email ID also I have taken. This is auto number. I'm skipping location, and this is roll up summary. ठीक है. तो after name, this is second, third, and fourth. So after name 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. See, यहाँ तक मैंने बताया. This I have created the record. This I have created the record. Now we are going to discuss about the best practices. Step number 1, as a best practice, avoid the usage of DML statement inside the loop. So I created this, I created this record, but this is where this is into the temporary memory. If I wanted to insert this, I required to fire this insert statement. What you wanted to insert? I wanted to insert HR records. This is my name of the object. Everything is present inside the object. लेकिन अगर मैं ये देखे, if I save this and I execute this code, I will be getting one error over here. Can anyone tell me what will be the error if I'm going to execute this code right now? Yes, can anyone tell me what will be the error?
151. Too many DML operations.
Too many DML operations. First of all, it will be system.limit exception. System.limit exception. Then the message will be too many DML statements. Too many DML statements. 151. This will be, this will be your error. Let's see. DML utility. Come on, take it. DML utility dot insert bug statement. Okay. Let's see what happens if I execute the code. See, try to remember the exact error message. System.limit exception. Limit has been exception. Okay, limit has been crossed. What kind of limit? This, see, system.limit exception generates for the SQLs also. When you try to have more than 100 SQL, then also the error are categorized into limit exception. But that time the message is different. Here it is what too many SQL queries आता है. यहाँ पे आता है too many DML statements colon 151. वहाँ पे आता है too many SQL queries 101. 101. That is what. ठीक है. तो ये एरर आता है when you try to have more than 150 DML statements. ठीक है. इसीलिए never use DML statement inside the loop. Inside the loop, this is my loop. Never use DML statement inside the loop. ठीक है. तो we should maintain bulkification for that. We should maintain bulkification. The second best practice while performing the DML operation, always maintain the bulkification. So bulkification, we are going to use it. We are going to maintain this with the collection. Okay. So now see what are the changes I'm making in the program. So in the beginning itself, I am defining one of the collection, typically a list collection. List of what? List of hiring managers, because I wanted to store the records of hiring manager object, the hiring manager class. That is why I'm defining one of the collection LST HR records. Okay. You could give any name. LST HRs. LST HR. Okay, I'm giving with this. Okay, I'm defining one of the list collection over here with the same name, and let me copy this statement to make this as a default constructor. New this and make it a default constructor. Okay, so what you have defined? You define a collection. What type of collection? A collection that is capable to store all of the records of hiring manager, all of the records of the type hiring manager. Okay, this is a list collection I have defined, and this collection is capable to store the records of hiring manager object. Okay, I created a record one by one. I created 200 records, but initially one record, then second, and then third. This loop will going to live for 200 times. This loop is going to be get executed for next 200 times. Okay, and one by one, I'm creating each records of the type hiring manager. So instead of inserting this directly inside the loop, we should rather make a use of collection. So we should maintain the bulkification. Now this process of bulkification will actually will actually means ki create a collection for that, and then add whatever the record you created, add it to collection, add it to collection every time, add it to collection. Don't don't get insert, don't use the insert statement, rather add it to the collection first. So this is my collection name. How to add it? There's a method. How to add anything? Come on. What should I use over here? What's the method to add anything into the collection, list collection? Yes, anyone? Yes, anyone? What is the method? Hmm. What is the method? Okay, add. Great. So the method to add anything to the collection is the add method. Okay. So what I'm doing, adding, I'm actually adding the records to the collection to maintain the process of bulkification. So I'm doing this to maintain the process of bulkification. So lsthrs dot add. Okay. What you wanted to add? I wanted to add this record. Yeah. I wanted to add this. That's what I think. तो यहाँ पर आप क्या होगा? One by one. First record, and then second record, and then third record, all the 200 records will be going to be get added to the collection पे आपके ऐड हो जाएंगे सारे लूप के अंदर. ठीक है. नाउ लूप के बाहर चलो. अब लूप के बाहर अब लूप के बाहर. नाउ यू नीड टू एड इट. अब आप यहाँ पे इंसर्ट स्टेटमेंट दे सकते हो. बट हमेशा मैं कहता हूँ कि एज एन बेस्ट प्रैक्टिस वी शुड सी फॉर वन थिंग. whenever we are working on a collection, we must see whether the collection is not empty. So we must check this ki not of what? lsthr dot is empty, empt. If it is not empty, then perform this. What you wanted to perform? I wanted to insert. What I wanted to insert? I wanted to insert this collection. एक ही इंसर्ट स्टेटमेंट लगा रहा हूं मैं. एंड दिस इंसर्ट स्टेटमेंट ये एक एक रिकॉर्ड इंसर्ट नहीं कर रही है, रादर इट्स इंसर्टिंग द कलेक्शन. पूरा कलेक्शन उठा के फेंक दे रही है. अब कलेक्शन में चाहे तुम्हारे कितने भी रिकॉर्ड्स हो, चाहे तुम्हारे कलेक्शन में 200 रिकॉर्ड्स हो, 2000 रिकॉर्ड हो, ठीक है, आप कितने भी अप टू 10,000 रिकॉर्ड यू कुड अप टू 10,000 रिकॉर्ड एक डीएमएल से आप परफॉर्म कर सकते हो. तो आप इस लूप को 10,000 टाइम्स चला सकते हो. 10,000 टाइम्स आप इस लूप को चला सकते हो. एंड 10,000 रिकॉर्ड्स एक कलेक्शन पे ऐड करने के बाद एक ही इंसर्ट स्टेटमेंट से एक ही बार में कर सकते हैं. दैट्स व्हाट द थिंग. तो आपको 10,000 नहीं लगानी है डीएमएल स्टेटमेंट, एक ही डीएमएल स्टेटमेंट लगेगी और वो एक एक रिकॉर्ड ना इंसर्ट करते हुए पूरा कलेक्शन उठा के इंसर्ट कर देगी. ठीक है. चलो. सो दिस इज व्हाट गोइंग टू बी गेट हैपन. तो वी हैव फिनिश्ड द प्रोग्राम. ठीक है. लेट्स नाउ एग्जीक्यूट द सेम थिंग. सो बिफोर दैट लेट मी वंस अगेन वेरीफाई आई एम इनटू द हायरिंग मैनेजर ऑब्जेक्ट. लेट मी go back to the hiring manager object once again, and I'm clicking this all. So we right now we have 464 record, and after inserting, and this count should be increased by 200. That means I should see 664. So let me execute the program first of all. So yes, our program is executed because I haven't written anything. System.debug तो लिखा ही नहीं मैंने, इसलिए ये blank रहेगा. But if we wanted to check the properties, so we could go down, and here see we just have used one DML. Out of 150, how many DML? One. But we were being able to process 200 records out of 10,000. So it's not like if you wanted to insert 200 record, so you require 200 DML. और ये तो possible है भी नहीं. Because in a single program, I could maximum use 150. So even though मुझे कितना भी up to 10,000 record could be inserted with only one DML statements. I could insert in a single transaction, I could maximum insert, update, delete, whatever. I could perform any DML operation up to 10,000. If I'm inserting, let's consider the example to be, inserting का example देखते हैं. I could insert up to 10,000 record in a single program, but I'm not going to require 10,000 DML. वो तो है भी नहीं मेरे पास. I could maximum go up to 150. तो उसकी जरूरत भी नहीं है. Just define a collection. This is what the process of bulkification. Define a collection, create the record, store the record one by one into the collection, and after at the end of the program, once you have been once you generated the kind of record, the count of record you wanted to be get, then बस insert करो आपके collection को in a single DML. Just insert करो collection को. That is what the thing. ठीक है, that is what I think. So we have done with the program. Now let me refresh this interface. Here I am expecting 664. 664. So if I go to the D, now so you could see DML HR record number 1 से लेके 200 तक insert हो चुके हैं. That's the reason we are saying 1 out of 200. Now if the 200 record has been inserted successfully. Okay. So this was actually your insert DML statement. So this was your insert DML statement. Now let me see whether I have anything more on this or not. We will see this by tomorrow. In the same day, I don't want it to get introduce you the drawbacks also. In the same day, I don't want it to introduce the statement along with the drawback. We will keep a gap of at least 1 day between understanding the statement and understanding the drawbacks, discussing the drawbacks on that. So let's keep this topic for tomorrow. Tomorrow we will be seeing what are the drawbacks of DML and why to use database class method. Tomorrow we are going to start from here.